Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 1, Episode 27, This Week in Ham Radio, 9/27/2023. That's going to be the name of this new segment. We're going to be calling it This Week in Ham Radio and have the date. Obviously, this is going to be every Wednesday. Want to welcome, I see Andy's in the house. Welcome, Andy. Thanks for stopping by tonight. This was received very well from last week, so we're going to continue this segment. Obviously, if I have some guests, we'll get guests in here as well. But this is the direction we're going to go forward. I do have some other videos lined up in the pipeline, getting ready to make those. We're gonna do a news and update segment, and then I also have something else that I found, a newsworthy item that I think you guys would definitely be interested in. Again, Andy, thanks for stopping by tonight. We have 4 people watching. That's great. Really appreciate that. Dean, thank you. Good to see you tonight. Again, one of the things for me, I really like what I did last week with as far as having a quote unquote news segment or This Week in Ham Radio. And a lot of it is what's going on in the YouTube community. And I think it's great that I let you know of some of these other videos that are out there. You may not be subscribed to some of these gentlemen, ladies, and so forth, but and you might miss them. It's easy to miss even if you're subscribed, because YouTube doesn't always notify you. They should, but they don't. So we're gonna jump right into this here. This is real good. Now, I did a little bit different this week. I didn't, we're not going to go directly out to Twitter. I took screenshots to hopefully make this a little bit more fluid, so you guys can enjoy this. So give me a second here. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay. The first item of note that one of the things is, when you get to be, licensed ham, one of the things that you're keenly aware of is how the weather affects your use of a ham radio, and specifically the radio waves and specifically also the sun. It's just not our, the wind, the rain, the heat, that type of thing. It's solar activity, and solar activity plays a great deal in terms of how the band conditions are for any given day. Well, Josh put together a great video on this. What does space weather affect ham radio? With Tamitra, Tamita Skov. I'm probably absolutely botching her name, and forgive me, Tamita, if I am. She's a great person, and she really this is a very informative video. So if you want to find out about how how the sun and how space weather affects ham radio communications with us here on Earth, this is a great video. Josh really hits the nail on the head with this, and as he does all the time. But this one especially is very meaningful because you'll find days where 10 meters isn't going to be good, 40 meters isn't going to be good, and this will kind of give you some guidance and some background as to why, and can help you understand that. So again, this is it's out on Josh's channel, Ham Radio Crash Course. I would definitely recommend this video to you guys. Okay. Steve T.O. put together a great video on how to build a hamstick dipole. It's fantastic. And as you know, he's on the road right now constantly. That's his home is on the road and in his RV. And he does a great job with this here. So definitely you want to check him out. Steve is one of those guys who just absolutely nails it in terms of being able to cobble things together, to put things together. He has a great passion for that, and he excels at that, and he does a great job. And this video is right in line with that. So you definitely want to go check that out on Steve's channel. Okay. Our good friend, Michael Martins, where to get QSL cards printed. And this is a good video because he goes in, he has a guest on there, and they go into different sources, and Michael has some printing background, and and computer graphics background, and it's easier for him than others. But it goes into some different ways you can get them done. There's obviously, you can go to a printer to get them done, but a lot of times what you can do, and this is just me adding my own 2 cents worth out there. If you're wanting to get some good graphics, you could go out to Fiverr and have somebody design something for you, and then go to a printer to get them done. This answers a lot of questions. And if you're curious about QSL cards, you definitely want to take a look at this video. Michael did a great job with this. Walt, I can't say enough about Walt. He does such a fantastic job. Um, he did a portable with a booty pole, long telescopic whip, and Wolf River coils. But you need to see this, okay? He uses a triple mag mount on the hood of his Jeep. He has a Jeep, because the conditions were not such where he could go to the beach that day. He was on top of a parking garage because the tropical storm had come through. But he was killing it with some contacts, as he always does. So you definitely want to go check that out. But it's real interesting. He had it mounted on. Excuse me. He had it mounted on the hood of his car, and he did an absolutely fantastic job. Just absolutely crushed it. Got some great contacts. Some DX contacts overseas. And Walt knows how to do that, and he does a great job here. So this is definitely a video you want to check out. Okay, now I did a poll here. You probably have seen, I put out a video about the Icom IC7100 is making a comeback, and it shows to be in stock for DX Engineering, that they're going to start shipping on October the 6th, which is right around the corner here. There are a number of different options for tuners for the Icom IC7100. And what I did was I took a little bit of a snap poll right here. And it seems here that more often than not, okay, the Icom AH4 had 26% of the people responded for that. The LDG IT100, 5.3%. The LDG Z100 Plus, 21%. And a majority of the people said the LDG AT200 Pro 2 at 47.4%. LDG makes some incredible tuners. That's the tuner that I got for my soon-to-becoming FT891. That's next paycheck kind of a thing. So, but no, they make some great tuners. They're very easy to operate, very easy to set up. It's very simple. They're really very good for, especially if you're taking your 891 out to do POTA. It's really just very straightforward and very easy. But no, the 7100 again. I'm getting an education on this transceiver because I haven't really been up to speed on it. And I saw it was available. One of the things I didn't know whether or not it had a built-in tuner, and it doesn't. So obviously you need to get one. And that was one of the questions. And interestingly enough, in a couple of the groups, it kind of gravitated toward that AT200 Pro 2. So it was real interesting, the poll that I took and the results that I got. So that's information for the 7100. If you're looking to get one, DX Engineering shows that they'll start shipping on October the 6th, and that hasn't changed. I checked out there today. So definitely want to check that out if you're interested. Okay, Joe Brett. Can't say enough about him. What a great guy. I loved having him on the show. I'm definitely going to have him on again. He is just absolutely fantastic. He put together this video. There's a gentleman who makes a battery that will fit the FT1, Yaesu FT1, FT2, FT3, FT5, 5 amp hour capacity, USB-C charging. He uses obviously he uses a printer to make these cases, and I think it's around $60. I'm not sure, but you can go out to Joe Brett's channel, and specifically this video, because there's a link in there if you're interested in purchasing them. And I think they're around $60. They're solid. They work really, really well. Jan, welcome. UTV and Ham, welcome. Good to see you here tonight. Thank you for stopping by. But I really, 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 this is a godsend. This speaks to me because one of the Achilles heels, if you want to call it, with the FT5, I absolutely love it. It's probably the best HT I've ever had, without a doubt. But the battery life, and one of the things with the battery life is, it doesn't, Yaesu doesn't really kind of miss the mark there. So anyway, this is a real good option for you if you're interested in it. It's $60. And I would definitely take advantage of it. I may be doing this after payday, which is basically tomorrow. But this is something that will really help if you have one of these radios, and it will fit in there. Okay. Our good friend Bob HOA Ham, he never ceases to amaze me with the antennas that he has reviewed, and how great they are, and how he's gotten them to work flawlessly. This is no exception right here. A Diamond BB7. It's a perfect backyard portable antenna. It really is, and especially for someone, if you're doing HOA, if you're doing POTA, it is absolutely fantastic, and it's something that I would definitely recommend. You definitely want to check out this video from Bob. He does a great job on this, and this is something that I'm considering, because one of a couple of things that I have to do is where I'm situated right here. It's a den in our house. We have 2 bedrooms and a den, and I have absolutely no skills in terms of being able to drill holes through stucco and get all that together. So I think I'm going to meet up with our local ham group here, and which I'm a member of, and see if I can get somebody to do that for me and caulk it and seal it. And what I'm thinking about doing is running at least 4 lines in here, 2 for HF and 2 for VHF, UHF into here, and put a box outside and have it sealed and caulked up and everything, and then run wires to the desk that's behind me. For when I retire, that's going to be my ham radio desk full time. Okay, right now it's part-time ham radio desk, full-time work, because that's where I work from home, is behind me. So, but yeah, you definitely want to check this out. Bob just does a fantastic job. He really has this down pat, because he lives in an HOA, and he nails it again and again. He really does a great job, and Chameleon's liked him so much. They've had him sample and try out some of his products even before they're in production. He does a fantastic job. But again, you want to check this out. And I talked to another good friend of mine. It confirmed that the Diamond BB7 is a great antenna. You see a lot of negative comments about it, but as I discussed with him, when all else fails, read directions. Okay, that's something my dad drilled into me from the time I was young and building car models at an early age. You read the directions, you follow the directions. A lot of people shortcut the directions with this, and you're not going to get the results that are intended. But if you do follow the directions, especially with the Diamond BB7, you will get an antenna that's going to work and work well for you. And no, this isn't Bill promotes HOA Ham and Bob. No, this is the way that I had the slides arranged tonight too. Chameleon is putting together an antenna tuner, and Bob gave us a preview of it. It's a prototype. It's not an actual production model. You definitely want to go and check this video out. It sounds like this is going to work with just about any radio that's out there. I think 100 watts and under. It looks to be fantastic, and I'm excited for this, and I'm excited to see, obviously what kind of pricing structure Chameleon comes out with. This looks to be something that's really going to be a game changer, because we all go out there and we all get specific tuners. Like I said earlier, I got one for the FT891 specific for that. I got another one, the MAT 705 for the IC 705. We end up buying a lot of tuners for our radios, and it ends up, maybe this might be a one size fits all solution. So stay tuned. I think Bob said this is going to come out probably next month, probably October. So stay tuned for this. Definitely watch this video. It's very interesting, and he does a great job of setting up and demonstrating it. Throw a little bit of humor up here, okay? Last day of summer in Florida, first day of fall in Florida. The biggest change, as I told my wife tonight, we go from highs of 95 to now highs of 90 outside. Really, in essence, that's what it is. It really doesn't change a whole lot. It really doesn't start changing a whole lot until mid to late November, when we start to get into the 80s, and then it may dip down into the 70s, which makes this my favorite time of year in Florida, because the weather is just so comfortable. It's so nice outside. Really don't need a lot of air conditioning out there. Just absolutely, absolutely fantastic. So, oh, that Jan, I'm sorry to hear about that. Your antenna getting wiped out. Yeah. Ooh, wow. Yeah. So, and I got to say this, Jan, go out to Bob's channel, HOA Ham. He just does such a fantastic job with antennas. I'm sure, look through his catalog and what he has to offer out there. He does such a great job with that. And like I said, for us right here, it just, it's just, you know, doesn't get to where the temperatures are comfortable for me, at least until probably mid to late November. And it just gets to be really nice then. The 90s go away, the humidity goes away. It's just very nice. It's a great time of year. That's great, Jan. That is fantastic. It's not good to go through that, and I can tell you that's for sure. So, but yeah, that's Florida for you. And it's just one of those things I've learned since living down here, that you got to wait until October. We still get some 90-degree days in October. It starts getting into the 80s, and it gets better as the year progresses. November, it starts out, we probably start topping out in the 80s, and then by mid to late November, by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, it'll start dipping down into the 70s, which I really like, and the humidity just kind of goes away. And also, knock on wood, hurricane season goes away too. So yeah, that's a good deal, right? That's a win-win all the way around there. Okay. Saw this. This was an interesting post here. SpaceX Starlink internet satellites leak so much radiation that it's hurting radio astronomy, scientists say. And this is just an article that I thought was real interesting because of all the satellites that are up there right now. And, we have to deal, as hams, we have to deal with interference every which way but loose. As I started off, with solar activity is one of them, and God knows what other, kind of interference we have to do, just literally from household things that we have around here to neighbors' household things to other outside interferences. There's just so many things here. And, this is just an article and food for thought. That's just, something I want to make you guys aware of. I think that's really, really, really important to, read this article and try to digest some information out of this. Now, this is a blast from the past. Cover of 73 Amateur Radio Today magazine from March 1999. And QRP kit survey, Y2K precaution, ferrite loop, XMTG antenna, okay. Pillar design for dummies, CW, a better fish, CW, how to have more fun, and then a couple of pictures of ads over there too. So I kind of thought it's kind of nice to see some retro stuff from back in the 70s. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of share that here. Well, here's a real blast from the past, okay? A Yaesu FT207R. Looks like it has 144 to 148 megahertz range, 10 kilohertz steps, 3 watts of output, 4 memories plus programmable offset, priority channel, memory, and band auto scan, optional equipment, tone squelch, speaker mic, NiCads, battery charger, keyboard encoded frequency entry, 2-tone input from keyboard lock guards against accidental frequency change, odd splits can be programmed from keyboard, automatic battery saver feature for LED display, and rubber flex antennas. So this is a real blast from the past. Okay, this predates me in everything as far as radio is concerned. Jason has a new podcast up, and he's talking about the Maui fires, proving the need for ham radio. This is something you want to listen to because the good folks over in Hawaii and over in Maui have been through so much over there, and ham radio once again, comes shining through in this, and you want to take a listen to this. Jason does a great job with this, so you definitely want to bookmark this, and when you get a chance, listen to it. It's well done. Okay. Gonna kind of switch gears here for a second, and Ham Radio Prep. All right, they offer just some great instructional material on how to study for your exams. Okay, and I gave away one last Christmas when we had a giveaway. And right now they have an HF masterclass. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to go ahead and share directly from them to kind of take a look at this and kind of walk through this. Okay, introducing the HF masterclass. After taking this course, you'll be easily making long distance and international DX ham radio contacts and making new friends all around the world. Okay. Become a master of HF communications. From unboxing to setting up your equipment and making long-distance contacts, learn everything you need to know about operating HF. And that's a video right there. Do you want to make contacts all around the world on ham radio without the internet or cell phones? Do you want to learn to set up and operate an HF station and talk like an expert on the air? Are you frustrated with all the so-called experts who make it way too complicated? Introducing the HF Masterclass. That's why, for the first time ever, Ham Radio Prep is making all the tricks and secrets of HF operation available in an easy-to-understand online class. Our team of ham radio experts will walk you through setting up your station step by step and teach you how to operate like a real pro. By the time you finish the class, you'll be able to set up ham radio equipment easily, know exactly how to tune your radio like a pro, what to say to make contacts just like an experienced ham. Open your doors to HF communications. High frequency HF refers to the range of radio frequencies between 3 and 30 megahertz. The HF bands are what allow hams to make contacts around the world via skywave propagation. No internet or cell phone required. Learning HF is the single most important skill to become a proficient amateur radio operator and join the worldwide community. 0 to expert in hours. Okay, it helps with equipment setup, exactly what frequencies to use, what to say to make contacts just like an experienced ham, logging your contacts and showing off your skills. Okay, and it goes through the lessons. 1, equipment unboxing. Lesson 2, equipment installation. Lesson 2.5, antenna installation. Lesson 3, setting up the transmit. Lesson 4, answering a CQ and logging. Lesson 5, calling CQ. Lesson 6, logging. Lesson 7, handling QSLs. Lesson 8, activities and awards. And Lesson 9, advanced operating here. Go from 0 to ham radio hero, and it talks about signing up now. So one of the things I'm going to do because I'm tomorrow's payday for me. Okay, I'm going to take this class, and I want to go through this because I don't want to go out there and do a quote unquote video about this per se without having taken the class. And I want to go ahead and take the class, see how this is, based on their other classes and based on, some of the material that I've studied with from them before. It's probably going to be a winner. Now, don't take this to mean what they said, so-called experts. Okay. There are a lot of great videos out here. Okay. Ham Cured Smoke, and I forget what he changed the name of his channel to. You guys can probably help me out on that. He's done some great videos in the Icom I7100. I think he's done almost 100 of them. And he's done probably about 40 or 50 on the IC705. Very helpful. He does very introductory, very basic. He shows you a lot of what you need to know. And there are a lot out there. Okay. Now there are some that will talk at a higher level. And I think that's what they're referring to here. Some that will talk over your head kind of thing. Okay. And he's not referring, he's referring to those. And there are actually very few out there that I've actually seen. Really haven't seen a whole lot that are real, over your head. Most of them meet you right here. Okay. Like I know Josh, Jason, Mike K and MRD, Smoking Ape, all these guys, they talk at you, and, they never forget where they came from. And that's why, they run through things in a methodical fashion. And this is really good because this is something where, you can get questions answered, and they're also available to answer questions there too, which is really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this class. I'm going to do a video on it. All right. And I'm going to give you my results, which I'm sure it's going to be great. Based on their current structure for what they have for classwork, and then we're going to go from there. But I really like what they're doing here. They have a great product with their courses for getting your technician, your general, and your extra. They do a fantastic job with that. So much so I'm going to give a couple away, when we have our holiday giveaway this year. And I may be doing this as well with this. They also have a course on how to use a valve pump, which I think's really easy. I haven't taken that because personally I'm not a valve pump kind of guy. I know a lot of people are. But for me, my Yaesu HT is golden here. Would I like to expand that? Yeah, I probably like that Icom 52A, and I probably like that Kenwood that's coming out too. But I got to go get some money off the tree in the back. But anyway, okay, off my soapbox about that. But again, that's all that. And, there's going to be, stay tuned to find out more about this, because like I said, I'm going to be taking this class, and then I'm going to share with you what my reactions were to the class, how I liked it, what I thought about it, and kind of go from there. So, okay. All right. Let me go ahead here and share this here again. All right. All right. Speaking of Smoking Ape, okay, he did a great video on how he tests directional antennas. It's a little bit different in terms of, it just obviously if you have a vertical or an end-fed half wave. Okay, a directional antenna is very specific, and he really he makes it kind of a no-brainer and really kind of walks you through the process. Does a great job as always. Okay, Ape is one of those guys. I absolutely love his videos. He's very straightforward, very matter of fact, comes right out and tells you exactly, and he makes it very simple and very easy to follow. So this is definitely a video I would recommend if you're considering using a directional antenna, and how to test it. He does a great job on that. Okay, here's a funny one. Steal a man's wallet and he'll be poor for a week. Teach him amateur radio and how to buy radios, and he will be poor his entire life. Okay. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That, and probably sleeping on the couch. Yeah, I don't doubt that. There are a number, that's kind of a running joke on my drone channel, Build a Drone Reviewer. For those husbands who are buying drones and maybe buying too many and maybe having to sleep on the couch. Probably the same instance here, although I have to say this, ham radio is a much more expensive hobby than drones. So that's where we're at on this. But this is a good meme. It's funny, but it's kind of true too. Okay, it's not cheap to get into ham radio, and obviously what you want to do is maybe see, if some of your friends try to buy some equipment used, get it tested. Obviously you'll save some money that way. Watch out for sales. They do happen. And I got to say this, okay? One of the best guys out there for looking for sales and great prices, everything, Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, he does a fantastic job with that, and these videos come out there, and I go to him as soon as he pops up one of these videos with a sale. I go out there and check some things out, because you never know, you might find something. But again, this is actually, it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of true as well there. Okay. To does it again here. Okay. Hadota Ham Nuggets Session 4, episode 37. This is from his live show. If you're wanting to get an understanding of POTA, Parks on the Air, this is excellent material. Okay. I think it's about an hour and a half long, but Steve doesn't, he turns over all the stones. He really, explains things well. You definitely want to follow this. And as a side note, my good friends Airheads Radio Adventures, Jason and Katie, they're doing a series right now about how they POTA, and you may want to watch that as well. But this is real. This is some great information, because it's one of the questions I get a lot is how do I get started in POTA? A lot of people are like, it's like, oh, it's this big thing. It's shrouded in secrecy. It's not, folks. It's real easy. It's real simple. And one of the other things too with this is logging and combining the two, and that's why it's always good. And that's why, all kidding aside, with Jason and Katie with Airheads Radio Adventures, okay, one of them is on the radio and the other one is doing the logging, and it looks like what they do. I think they do a lot of manual logging, with a notebook, which is fine. You can always transcribe this later and get this entered online. And that's one of the things, because a lot of people, they're trying to do double duty, trying to work a contact and logging at the same time on a laptop. And it can get real frustrating, especially if you're out in the sun. You may not be able to see that. You can always see like a notebook. So, and that's the way at first, that's something that I would recommend. I would recommend you go out there and you use a notebook if you're going out there to log contacts, and then come back and enter them later, and also, this is another tip too. And, just if you're not hearing them clearly, okay, if you're not hearing their call sign, okay, ask them to repeat their call sign, okay, because, without their call sign, you won't be able to log, okay, you're going to need that. And make sure that you enunciate your call sign as well clearly too, and that they get it, and that they have it down. And, and obviously, if they, hopefully they'll share where they're from and where they're calling and that type of good thing. But no, this is a good starting point. This is something I would recommend. Again, POTA is so much fun. It has really kind of rejuvenated our hobby. I really like it. I think it's great. So let's kind of go from there for this one. All right. Now, Mike from K8MRD. First of all, he's now Ham Radio Tube, okay? And Mike, I love your name change. Absolutely fantastic. Perfect name for your channel, okay? This is a great video on basically, should you buy an amp for your QRP radio or buy a 100-watt radio? And Mike's a big fan of the FT891. No, from if you've watched any of his other videos before, but basically, you can use the 891. You can QRP from that. You can dial it all the way down to 10 watts or 5 watts or whatever. I'm not sure if it goes below 5 watts, but you can do that. Okay, you can simulate. You can be QRP if you want to with that radio, or you can crank it all the way up to 100 and try to bust through. It's up to you. And I really like Mike's video. He explains things really well. Goes over, what an amp can do with a QRP radio. It's really well done. You definitely is worth your time to go out there and watch this. And definitely you'll get an education and learn from that. Kudos, Mike. Great video. Okay. Well, that is it for my videos here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop or slides. That's it for my slides. Again, look for some things. Like I said, I'm going to be taking that ham prep HF class, and after I do that, I'm going to get a video together and share my thoughts and ideas about that class, and kind of let you guys know what I think about it. And I really think at this point, I think it's going to be a winner just from everything that they've done before and what I've seen from them. So I'm real excited. I'm going to be doing that. Got some more product videos coming up. I got a rig runner video that I'm going to get to, I promise. I know I mentioned it last week, but that's one of the things that I want to do. So, be on the lookout for that. I'm going to have some more 705 videos coming up. I'm going to be getting a POV cage. Yeah. And, payday's coming up, and I kind of need that to get that POV cage, but I want to have full protection for that. And I think that's super, super, super important. So, be on the lookout for that. If anybody has a spare, $20, $30, $40,000 to send my way, we'll fund the channel for a lifetime. Okay. I guarantee you that. I'm just kidding, of course. But, there's so many things that I want to get. I want to get the Icom. What's on my wish list? This is one thing before we close. This is what's on my wish list. Okay. I want to get that Icom ID52 handheld. I want to get that Kenwood that's coming out. I'm really interested in the Icom IC7100. I know that's been a great radio. Especially, it's really good outside from what I hear for a lot of people, because it has that grayscale display, and it's very easy to see in the sun. And of course, obviously that does 100. But the big thing about that is it does UHF, VHF as well as HF. So that's kind of like an all-purpose one. A lot of people mount that in their car. That's a good radio for a car. And I don't know this. One of the things that I did find out is it's interesting. The pricing on that, it used to be, I think, around $600 or $700, and it's now like $11.99. It's kind of doubled in price. Obviously, with the pandemic and all that kind of good stuff, all those things kind of changed with that. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I'm really having a lot of fun doing this. I think this is great, giving you guys a flavor of some of the things that are going out there, especially in the YouTube community. I try to stay on top of that, and I try to get you guys a lot of good topics out there. There are so many other ones out there. Okay. Jason just went out and did a 9-state POTA trip from Ham Radio 2.0. I think he's in an RV park this weekend, and they're having some kind of ham radio RV park get together. I think it's south of him where he lives in Texas, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some videos on that. As always, Josh has some great live streams. I think Friday night he does a great job on that. I never watch him live, because every time when he's up, when he's doing his thing is when I'm going to bed. So, but he has some real great Q&As. Definitely want to check some of those out as well. And like I said, Smoking Egg does a great job. T.O. does a great job. Joe Brett does a great job. Everybody out there. And, we have a great community out there, and I really, really like being a part of it. Also want to let you know, if you've been following Vern 6, he's doing better. Many, he had surgery, kind of like an oral surgery, and he's recovering from it slowly but surely. And Vern's a shout out. Continue to get well, my friend. We're all here. We're all rooting for you. We're really kind of one big happy family here, the ham radio community. And that's one thing that I like with all the other YouTubers out here. They do a great job, and they really kind of pull from one another. And I think that's great. So that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Andy, Jan, UTV and Ham was here tonight. You guys, awesome. And I know there's several other ones out there as well. Really appreciate it. One of the other things that I did a little differently tonight, I had this out on my Twitter feed as well tonight, just to get you guys acclimated to it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And, definitely come to the YouTube channel, throw me a like, get out there, watch part of it, give me a view. That would always help. And we're growing. I had 107 new subscribers in the last 30 days. So thank you. I appreciate that. More content is coming. I'm juggling my drone channel, and I'm juggling the ham radio channel as well. And I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. And, like I said, I'm going to be cranking out some more videos coming up here shortly. So stay tuned for that. And I do have one, I'm working on for the Rig Runner. It's a great one. You'll love it. I absolutely love it as well. I think it's one of the best tools that I've gotten in a while for ham radio. So that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much. As always, remember, guys, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7 3s, everyone.